He is a gig worker trying to make money using his car. He uses multiple gig apps all at the same time to maximize his earnings. But this can be difficult and dangerous while driving. Sometimes the requests come in so fast, Joe can't pick and choose the best trips to take, which can result in lower pay or lower rated disruptive passengers. That was until Joe found Maximo, the automation app that helps gig workers accept and decline trip requests. Maximo will use the filters set by Joe, like time, distance, and rating, to determine which trips are best suited for Joe. When a trip request comes in, Joe doesn't need to worry. Maximo will compare the trip details to Joe's filters and then determine if it should automatically accept the trip, decline the trip, or allow Joe to decide by showing the per mile and per minute rates. When a trip has been accepted, Maximo will turn off the other apps that aren't on a trip. Once Joe finishes a trip, Maximo will turn everything back on. This will allow Joe to reduce his stress and frustration, drive safe, and focus on the important tasks. Check out Maximo at www.maximoapp.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Oh, Steve's back. That's not my intro. It's his turn.
Go ahead, man.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
We got so used to him not being here. We're all good.
Go ahead. Gary always trips me up with something like that.
Always.
It's the second time. Like, I should have known better. But yeah, guys, what's up? Gary just threw me off, so good night.
You got to start over now.
Okay. Welcome to Thursday R3 Rideshare Rodeo Roundtable. Let's welcome Hannibal.
Are we going to pet him? We can put him in the middle and everybody can just pet him.
He's in
We
the
can have
void.
an avatar picture of him in the middle.
But we do have, obviously, Kim's Side Money Plans. Got Dash Theory TV.
Yes, sir.
And, I got it right on everyone. And GaryZaps.com.
Yes.
I use the light now. I just know that where
You
the
don't
light
point
is.
Go towards the lights.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we're like the Brady Bunch, like
yeah.
Brady Bunch intro.
The Brady Bunch had 9
Yeah.
squares.
Okay, so we're half of the Brady
We're
Bunch.
half of the Brady Bunch.
We're like the
Almost.
like the
I mean, I
Brady
guess
divorce.
if you don't count the maid, we're half the Brady Bunch.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, we are a bunch.
So yeah, you guys, first of all, I hope everybody got to watch last week's show. I watched it obviously on replay, and I thought it was really good. I thought Chris was really good. I thought that was a fun call to have Chris on, and I think everybody did good. I think it was a great show. So hopefully everybody else got to catch it. It was kind of interesting. I told Gary that before we go any farther, it was weird because I don't even know if this is a milestone or what you'd consider it, but my 500th video was Driver Nation on Friday night.
Yeah, last Friday.
And I was doing avalanche training, but I wasn't there.
But I was.
So how many of the 500 videos were you actually there for? That becomes the next question.
300.
Well, so I've only missed like 3.
Rideshare Rodeo Productions.
But
has
you've
produced-
missed more than 3.
4.
More than 4.
I don't know how many I've only missed 3 of the roundtables. I don't know how many Driver Nations since we've been doing it on the video, but regardless.
I know you missed 4 whenever it was hosted on a different channel.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, when
But
it was
who's
just
counting?
radio, maybe.
Who's counting?
Yeah, who's counting, dude?
Just a
Obviously,
number.
you are. Gary is, I guess.
Yeah. Got to keep his attendant. I mean, somebody got to keep him in check. If not, he just throws us out and like, hey, you guys got this. And then I got to actually prepare, do segues that Kim loves and all that stuff.
He
But
did do good.
but Gary,
Gary's segue game
really
is on
good.
point.
You did really good last week. I mean, I don't know.
I know I prepared for it.
Yeah, see. But I also want to, you guys, I really want to thank Chris, Real Rideshare Stories, for stepping in and joining last week. I think he did a great job. And I was just really appreciative. This was a very big milestone for me. It's something that I've been working on for a long time, and it goes back to pre-pandemic, and the pandemic actually screwed up my timing for doing this correctly. So me getting squeezed in to a canceled spot this year was almost up to me like a miracle, because if it went on too much longer, I don't know if I would have lost the drive. I wouldn't have lost the drive, but I don't know how I would have ever got it, because you're supposed to do back-to-back years. And the second year for me was pandemic.
So what do you do now? Like, what's the next steps?
So I am certified to do mountain search and rescue, but I can take it steps farther. Yeah, I mean, so if people go missing in the summer or the winter, and because I'm avalanche certified too, I can do high country in the winter, and obviously in the summer as well. Yeah, I can just go. I can go be your basic search and rescue guy, but I want to take it a couple levels up. I think I told you, Kim, and I think I've told everybody here, that I'm either looking at doing fire. You can do like 80 hours of fire, or you can do 80 hours of paramedic. And for a long time, I was going to do paramedic. Then I was looking at fire. And I think I might be back to paramedic a bit after doing avalanche too, because it's not like you don't go through the 400 hours or whatever. It's 80 hours that you do. You do like it's like a shortened class so that you at least know a lot, though. And part of me was thinking, it's pretty important that I know how to help people too when I get to them. I mean, you're with teams a lot, so there's probably somebody that's going to be in that team that can help, but I want to be able to help if I get to the person first. I don't know.
I think what Kim was probably trying to ask is, how does it work now? Like, there's an avalanche, they call you, hey, Steve, come on, Batman, let's go.
So now I could start. So what you do is unless I was going, like if Max wasn't in school and I wanted to go full blown, I could go apply at different counties, search and rescue. I am qualified, and that qualification actually means a lot. There's only 2 places in the United States that do it. So to have that is like the extreme of the extreme. They take that very, like, you don't have to have experience. They take that very valuable that you did this. But what I can do right now, and this is what I'm thinking about doing, is volunteering up in like one of the foothill counties, just on a need basis. Like if somebody got lost and they need everybody they can, that's when like they bring in the volunteers and stuff.
So that's what I was wondering.
So this is like a volunteer type of thing.
Well, no, this can be there are search and rescue people making upward of triple digits.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I'm like,
you have to have a love for it, but I feel like it's a good way for me to get my foot wet to volunteer.
Got it.
Because I live here in Denver. I work gig work. Max goes to school. If something happened and they needed me on a volunteer basis right now, and I would get my foot in the door with a few of these places, I would get to know some of the people, and I'd also get to experience with the more experienced people when there is a situation. But because I'm a gig worker, again, a perk of a gig worker, because I'm a gig worker, I can do
freedom, flexibility, kind of develop that resume, for lack of better terms.
Right. Because I mean, like, if I'm planning on working Friday, Saturdays, and not Sunday this weekend, let's say, and then I got a call, I could obviously, I was planning on it, but I can go say I'm not going to work. I don't have a job where I'm going to be in a ton of trouble because I decide to go do this. So I've heard from a lot of people that volunteering is a great way to start, and it's a great way to get to know all of the county's different departments. Because there's some like up near Rabbit Ears Pass and stuff up near Steamboat, which there's way more avalanches, or down in near Telluride and Durango and stuff. There's way more avalanches. So there's a lot harder counties to be in than others. So I don't know. Everybody I was doing it with is basically on the same thing. Like there was 2 people from the backcountry of British Columbia's Whistler in Vancouver. On the backcountry side, you go into Banff National Park, and it's not even avalanches so much as people leave the property of Whistler because it's so big, that the terrain's so big, and they have a couple unpatrolled areas where you have to go through a gate that says this area is unpatrolled. Know that you are on your own back here, blah, blah, blah. And that's where the people who work at the resort can't help you. And they're not even supposed to go back there and do anything. But if somebody went missing and they went through that gate or whatever, that's when search and rescue comes in and actually goes down into the park. Because it's not always an avalanche either. You know, somebody could be stuck down at the bottom of something and they think, okay, the resort's this way, and they're hiking the wrong way. I mean, this happens all the time. And then night falls, and it's, how cold is it? Can you survive through a night? My guess is no, because you were so stupid to do something like that in the first place.
Yeah.
But I have known very good skiers and boarders to do this.
Do they teach you how to like prepare yourself in case you do get covered in like a whole heap of snow, or you just did?
I'm supposed to be the one dealing with the whole heap of snow.
Yeah.
I mean, really what you need are those BHCA packs. They don't always work, but it's like a chute. So you get it's like a canister that costs $1,200. You get one use out of it.
What expensive?
But you pull it like this, and it's a big balloon over your head that pulls you to the top of the avalanche.
Oh wow.
But things can still happen too. There's so much to it. You know, if you see it break, like I learned a ton this time. The last time it was basics. It was, let's go into this field in the park. Let's teach you guys how to dig and how to properly use the equipment. There was no overnight in the park. That was brutal. And there was there weren't as many hours out doing heavy field work. Like we were having to hike up, and then they were sending in the choppers like they do to areas that were in one, it was already cleared out. But here it was snowing so hard, they were sending up the coppers like before we could start our hikes. So we're watching them just floating there, and then they're just tossing out the grenades to start the avalanches. Because when there's too much snow, they grenade them.
They wouldn't be able to control it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and there still are avalanches, but they got to get the big drifts out of the way, because a lot of people ride without beacons, and that's the stupidest thing in the world. If you're riding without a beacon in the backcountry, or if you're riding in the backcountry without experience, you're putting, not only are you in a lot of danger, you're putting everybody out there in danger, because a crack of a sheet can bring a whole mountain down. So you really need to know what you're doing back there. But I'm glad I took it. I thought 2 was ridiculously hard. My shoulder just today is coming back in. Like I have been rolled forward, because this was the one I had surgery on twice. And I mean, I was just in so much pain from digging. If it wouldn't have looked so bad, I would have paused and cried for a few minutes. I was in that kind of pain. It was just burning and it was out. And yeah. But it was a great experience. And I think I'm back to wanting to do some of the paramedic stuff. So if you attend, this is a really cool thing before I move on past this. If you attend Avalanche 1 and 2, you can go to any community college in the country. And you can take the paramedic training for free.
Interesting.
Ah.
So
if you come out here and you learn Avalanche 1 and 2, which is search and rescue, level 1, any community college will pay for you to do. Now, to go, if you don't do Avalanche 1 and 2, and you just go to the community college, it's like $3,000. And between Avalanche 1 and 2, it was about $1,600. So actually, I paid half of what you have to be trained. I think that a lot of people just aren't. I mean, you have to be expert level to be able to go do Avalanche training.
I'm out.
So if you want to be a paramedic and you're really good at skiing or snowboarding, my tip to you is go take Avalanche 1 and 2, get it for half price or get it for free.
I tell you what, if there's ever an avalanche and me and Kim are on the mountain, you can find us in the lodge. So dig out the lodge, and that's where me and Kim will be there.
We'll be by the wine.
Yeah.
The kitchen. We'll be by the kitchen and the bar.
You guys, this is how I'll end how I feel about the training, though, is that after 1, I felt exactly like what they said. Like I felt really good about the equipment. I knew how to use the equipment. I knew how to use a probing rod and a shovel and a beacon, but I wasn't good at it. Then we got like how to use the beacon, how to actually trace bodies, because they were burying them in, not bodies, but these pillow things in fields with beacons attached. And we had to go out and find them. But in 2, it was a lot more work and that at the end. So you had to like put skins on split boards and walk up the mountain. You know, we're doing like 3,000 foot, you know, elevation gains with like in snow with like the board split and skins on. So I mean, like, and then we're coming along the crest and making sure things aren't going to break. It was the teachers were very awesome, and it was an amazing experience. And I just took stuff to the way next level. Like now I'm backcountry master. So
let's not get don't get ahead of yourself there, Jedi.
I'm very proud of you, but better you than me. I am not an outdoors person. So hats off to you, my friend.
I just learned I need to carry a beacon in Steve's phone number all times.
So, okay, but my point is that's kind of what led me to this, if you guys wonder anyway, too, is that I feel like I already know this, we don't have enough search and rescue people in the Rockies, not just Colorado, but in the Rockies, period. And you go to any state, like even Wyoming with Jackson Hole, they don't have enough in the backcountry, and there's not enough search and rescue people. I am at the level where I'm good enough to be search and rescue, and I feel like I feel okay doing it. So I felt like almost like I need to do this because this is needed from people. And I love being out in the backcountry. So I'm not, you know, it wasn't like I want to be a paramedic, but it's more like I have the ability. I go to the backcountry for fun. So if I understand it and can help people, then, you know, I should be doing that because those people are needed.
Steve's going to be the one that's jumping from the helicopter on the snowboard to come get you. And they're like, there's a lift right there. Steve's like, no, I got this. I got this.
Yeah. And somebody had asked me in a comment or an email, I think it was a comment on one of the videos I did, where they said, you know, don't you guys have those St. Bernards with the whiskey barrels? Like, those are real things. Like, you've never seen that, Kim? You've never seen cartoons or anything? Like,
I have, but I can't honestly imagine someone actually think that's a thing.
Well, in the Swiss Alps, they do have them.
They do.
Yeah, and they carry a barrel. Why the barrel looks big on cartoons is because it is. It's not just whiskey though. In there are like little airplane shots of whiskey, and then like wrap and like other bandage type things and stuff.
Huh.
So the whiskey is there. That's
Alaska,
but there is whiskey in there. Yeah.
Yeah, the Iditarod dogs, but they don't rescue. They won't rescue you. They'll get you from point A to point B if you got 10 of them. But that's about it. The more like.
But yeah. Anyway,
dogs.
guys, it was an amazing experience. It kicked my butt, and it's taken me a few to bounce back, but I'm back and I feel great, and I'm done. And yeah, I'll figure out my next move with it now. So,
Josh, I think I said 10K. I don't think I said 1K. I think I said 10K.
I don't think 1K will do it.
But he'd climb what? Because even for 1K, I could find something Gary could climb easy. Like
your steps to your living room.
Right. Hey, Gary, climb into my house. There, he just did.
Yeah.
I think that'll be Google. What is the smallest mountain in America? Oh, we're going there.
We're going there.
It's a rock.
All right. Yeah, literally.
Oh wait, this is the wrong week. Hey guys, if you haven't hit like, smack that like, please.
That's the thumbs up button.
Yeah. Or the thumbs down if you hate it, but that would be weird if you're watching it and you hate it. But whatever.
Hey.
But thumbs down still count.
Some people do that.
I know.
Every view counts.
I really wonder if that is the case, but supposedly it counts exactly the same. Like whatever metric they give to a like is the same to a dislike.
Yeah. So thumbs up, thumbs down, same difference.
Yep. So okay, I got at the end I have, or I'm not sure which of the two I'll do. I'll see what kind of time we got, but I do have a couple short things I want to put in. This one I want to start off with, because if you live in Washington DC, or you did from 2016 to 2018 and you worked Instacart, I want to point this out tonight because you only have till this Saturday to claim it. They say that there is 3,500 people, or wait, was it 45 or 3,500 Instacart workers that are able to claim this money, and it ranges from a minimal. If you worked one shop, you get $150. That's the minimal.
Wow.
There are people getting as much as $4,000 from the settlement, but out of the 4,500, you have to submit it by Saturday, and right now they only have 50 submitted.
Oh wow.
I mean, I think part of the problem there is you're talking 2016 to late 2018.
Most of
a lot of
those
those people have moved on or whatever. But I mean, that's why I'm saying it, because if anybody watching this even knows anybody that lived in DC and worked 1, 2, 3 shifts, even anything on Instacart during that time, they're owed money, probably a few $100s minimum for under 10 orders. So
I feel like if you put that on TikTok, somebody will find their money.
Oh, I say go do it. I did it for the Amazon payout. I got a good check.
It's not like signing a class action and waiting 30 years to see if it wins. It already happened. The money's there. If you worked, get your thing in.
Free money.
Because you are owed money. And all you had to do was work the platform. You don't even have to know what's going on. But if you go to the Rideshare Rodeo website, I did put it in today's post. So if you go to ridesharerodeo.com and you look at March 23rd's post, there is a link in there to the video, which in the video, it shows you what you need to do to contact whoever to get this money and what you need to do. But you do need to do it by this Saturday, which I just think is sneaky and crappy.
Which I find strange. They should have done it, like they've done in the past, and it should just automatically go out to people.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, I think that a lot of people's accounts are closed, or
well, I mean, they're most Instacart people when they quit doing it, or most gig workers, they don't just email in and say, "Hey, close my account." They just uninstall the app.
Right.
They should be able to contact the people by email too.
Well, Instacart knows who worked during that time period.
Yeah,
Instacart's objective is to pay as little as possible, so they're not going to.
Well, they have to pay anyway.
But I'm sure part of their deal is they don't have to reach out.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying though. But they have to put that money aside anyways, whether they pay it out or not. They still have to put it to the side.
Why? If you can't get it after the Saturday,
I guarantee you that's probably in there that they have to hold on to that money.
Or it goes. My thought is, if anything, it would go to the city of DC or something. Whatever is unclaimed. Yes, I can see what you're saying, but after Saturday, the workers can't get it.
I don't either that, or they divide it up between the people that did reply back. And
they're not doing that. That's what the thing said. And that's the thing that said that one of the people worked it for like a year or something, and I don't know how often they were doing it, but they're getting like $2,500.
Yeah. So there's
only 50 people out of 45 or 3,500. I mean, come on, guys. I know that even some of the people who watch this are in DC. Nova Dasher, did you ever do Instacart? You work DC. He
didn't do no Instacart.
Right, I know, but again, he might know somebody who did. And that's why I'm saying if anybody in here even knows somebody who was doing gig work pre-pandemic in the DC area, let them know. Because they might know some other people who did, or what, because the word needs to get out. Instacart's going to get away with, or people are going to just lose out on free money that they are owed.
Well, thing is, I bet you, even if people are still doing Instacart there, if they open an Instacart app, I guarantee you there's no pop-up or anything in there that says anything about it. And I think they should. Sure, I think they should have to do that.
Yeah. I mean, luckily
they should send emails and everything.
It is on every news channel. So it's like being run on video news. Like if you watch TV, if you read the paper, if anything.
What are we, 50?
Kind of exposure.
Nobody watches TV or reads newspaper.
I'm 50, dude.
Oh, no, I said that.
Well, when was the last time you read a paper?
Yeah, he needs to go on TikTok.
Well, I don't read a paper, but
he reads the news.
But I put the news up on the website every day.
He reads the news to put it out there.
Well,
See, you're gonna have to make a TikTok on it, Steve. That's it.
I think making a TikTok would be your most effective method at this point in time.
Yep. Hashtag Instacart.
I got to tell you, I'm with Gary though. I think that why wasn't the news saying this weeks ago? Like, why am I just I mean, I found it in 4 articles today. Why didn't I see it in 4 articles yesterday?
Yeah, 2 days before the deadline.
Like, yeah, exactly. Why is even the news waiting till 2 days out? You know, my guess is, like Gary was saying, Instacart's going to probably have to pay out whatever the full amount is, and DC keeps whatever's left over. So they're stoked. They're glad it's only 50. You know, but I would like to see if anybody was working it, I would like to see you get your money. So, you know,
I feel like we need to look up somehow, find a DC Instacart shoppers on a Facebook forum and just go like post this video there.
And if you guys are worried that it's a lot of work, all you have to do is know the date range you worked and your name. They'll from the website, they will make Instacart generate the amount of stuff that you're owed. So you don't have to reinstall Instacart, pull up any kind of records or nothing.
Well, you can't
like
anyways. Instacart don't go back that far. On the
right. Well, so yeah, you're just putting it, but you just have to have your date range, and just put in your email or whatever. I mean, it's pretty simple, or it sounded like it. It just sounded like, this sucks, man. This is 48 hours from now.
Yeah. Go get your money.
That's BS, dude. You know. So,
but John, you have a good point, though. I'm sure there has to be some kind of Instacart or whatever group on Facebook that could.
That's the only thing I can think about is when I think about local gig work groups, I think of Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, or but the same thing kind of happened to the Instacart shoppers in Southern California too. I mean, there was way more of them that got some of that, but that class action, remember, and we talked about that. Most of it went to the state, and it was a lot of money. Like, the state got a lot of money that was supposed to go out to Instacart workers from a time period, but they didn't know to claim it. You know,
I wonder what the state does with that money.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean?
Blows
it. Yeah, they just keep it.
State, yeah, they blow it like
they're like, sweet, dude. Let's go out to dinner.
Another bridge to nowhere.
I mean, yeah.
So our city needs $5,000 like plunger for a toilet.
It was the California amount was way too much. I think I want to say we talked about it on here. It might have been Driver Nation, but I mean, it was in the millions. You know, so that was unclaimed. You know, I don't know. That's Gary, I wanted
no, we're on safety feature from Uber now.
Okay, well, I was going to push that back to the end, but I will say that now. No, I'll do that. So here's the thing with the safety feature. I think it's been around forever. Remember when they talked about this? I think you guys will probably. But I thought, just like all the other Uber features that don't really pilot well in some of the test cities, that they just took it away. Because I was always like, why did they take that away? It's one of the best features. But it's Uber safety feature that people don't know that exists. But if you're a rider, not a driver, if you're a rider and you go into your settings, you can say make PIN required. Mm-hmm. There's a setting for make PIN, and it's what they call the most overlooked Uber feature, which I don't know why. We're always talking about Uber safety. That is an awesome way to be safe.
Well, you know why they do it? Because it's the ease of customer flow. That's why. By requiring a PIN, say you request a ride from someone else, now you have to give that person the PIN. They got to. It's a whole process. And Uber's like, well, we want to streamline this as quickly as possible. Pick up, drop off. Pick up, drop off.
So, but here's how it works though. I don't know if this is how it worked when it first rolled out. Is that so? If I as a customer say I want that on, right? I want the 4 PIN code. And then I walk up to the car that's mine. That person doesn't have to do anything, and neither do I. It's not like technical. You don't even enter it. You just as the customer, you just have to say, do I have the right car? And a pin pops up to the driver. They don't have to do anything. And they just say 1491. And you're like, yep. And as long as they match.
No, what it used to be is when the customer
you had
got
to type it in or something.
They had the driver had to type in their code.
Yeah, you don't know. It's the customer.
That's how it used to be.
Now it's when the car arrives, it says, make sure to ask your driver what the pin is.
No,
which makes sense.
It says right here, it says, help make sure you get the right car by verifying your ride with the pin. You will receive a unique pin for each trip that you will need to share with your driver when they pick you up in order for the trip to start. So that means the driver's going to have to enter the pin still.
In order for the trip to start.
Well, it sounded like they tried to streamline that part out, like you were kind of talking about. So I don't know. But,
I know when I did rideshare last year in Florida.
Yeah.
I had to actually enter the pin whenever I picked people up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean that's how I think it was when I'm talking about too. It came around a few times. I thought they just kept pulling it off the app though.
No,
and coming up with these new stupid safety features like, hey, do you want us to voice record you? No, because you're using that against me. Right. We all know you use that against us. Like, dude, the drivers know, the customers know. None of us want that.
Now, I mean, I agree with the pin. In fact, I think the pin should be an automatic thing.
Yeah, that shouldn't even be. It should exactly. It shouldn't even be a safety feature. It should be required.
It should be something that I mean, I guess the passenger. I'm saying it should automatically be on, and if the passenger doesn't want to deal with it, they can turn it off.
I don't even think they should be able to turn it off.
Well, I mean, for example, because if say somebody else you're ordering a ride from someone else, you can't always give that.
Well, they better know the pin. Yeah. I mean,
it's not hard.
Otherwise,
it's really not. But you would believe. Well, because I mean, like for example, like ordering it for older people.
Okay.
Or people like 50 years old, they might not know how to use a pin.
So Gary, you're saying that these big fonts that come up that say, just tell your driver.
No. What I'm saying is
4 numbers. They can't do that.
I don't know. They might not be able to read. They might. I don't know.
It might need to be senior citizen size.
Senior citizen.
Things get confusing the older you get. I remember I ordered an Uber for my uncle. He was like in his 70s.
And anybody over the age of 50, don't take offense to it because I'm just picking on Steve. That's it. That's the only person.
Well, Holly took offense to it. Shush, Gary. And I don't know if you really want this, Brandon. It's not going well in the UK. I'll tell you that.
Facial ID check for Spark drivers? That don't even make
sense. They're doing the same thing Uber's doing, where you got to verify with the picture.
Oh, that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other thing about that doesn't even work anyway. Gary, I think I showed Gary the pictures. Like I duct taped my mouth and bulged my eyes out during the pandemic, like that, and they were like, "He's fine."
Well, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to minimize the people using other people's account on Spark, because on Spark you can't not rent out your account. It's in the terms of you cannot rent out your account like you can on DoorDash and things like that. So other people using other people's accounts to pick up multiple orders, things like that. That's what they're trying to combat.
But like Spark, if I don't remember, like giving them a picture, so like they would have to know the first person who scans in, they all got to match that person, or this this person is not the same as the last 10 in a row. What's different?
Well, I don't get how they. I know I'm going to be 43 this year, so 1 year.
It's all downhill from here.
And in fact, Steve gets to spend my 43rd
you're not too far
birthday
behind, my friend. So
I'm a lot away. I'm 7 years. Whenever I'm 50, Steve's going to be almost 60.
You know what, dude? I'll take on endurance tests with any 25-year-old in the gig world right now.
Oh, you'll kick my butt in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, bring me a 30-year-old. Come on, let's go.
He ain't gonna kick my butt because I'm gonna hit him in the knee with a baseball bat.
Yeah, I can't beat that one.
Can't kick with no knees.
Watch it, Josh. I'm older, so watch it, Josh.
So I think Gary, yours is too DoorDash too, right? We got 3 DoorDash stories here. I honestly think the Daily Dot is moving to just being TikTok.
I agree with that.
I think that they take TikToks, and I do think that sometimes they look farther into it and get more of a story. Sometimes they just take the story from the 30-second TikTok. But I feel like that whole paper is just about TikTok.
It is. They did an article that I read the other day, and I'm like, oh, they did not fact check this because it is not true. Whatever it was about DoorDash. I'm like, oh, that's not true. What are they getting at?
Well, the story I'm about to talk about too, I don't think that they did the research on this anytime in the last, I don't know, year, because, okay, we'll move on to this story. In a viral TikTok video, DoorDash customer claims that her driver asked for her to pay the gas he bought to deliver her Chick-fil-A order.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one you're talking about? They did not do their research, did they?
No, not at all.
Yeah. So reading the story, basically the driver went and got gas, picked up this lady's Chick-fil-A order, went and delivered it, and then gave her a receipt asking for the money for the gas. Now, he did get $20-something worth of gas to do one Chick-fil-A order, 6 gallons of gas, $20.84. And I mean, first off, it's ridiculous that he would even ask for the gas money. We all know how this platform works. We're responsible for our own expenses. Don't take stuff that you don't want to go do. But you definitely can't be asking customers. Yeah, you definitely can't be asking customers for gas. The biggest thing I don't like about this story is, they said that the DoorDash has a rewards program for its drivers that make them eligible for discounts on gasoline. In a March 15th press release 2 years ago, because the gas programs have been gone for a long time now. The company wrote, "We're announcing a gas rewards program based on feedback and aimed at offsetting the elevated gas prices while helping Dashers preserve their earning potentials. Dashers who qualify for both rewards could receive anywhere from $1.65 to $2 a gallon." Yeah, where? Somebody, if anybody out there has ever received $1.65 to $2 per gallon reward from DoorDash, please email it to steve@ridesharerodeo.com because we really want to see this.
No, but when gas prices were crazy, DoorDash, if you had the Dasher card, you got 10% back on the Dasher card. So I'm making this up, if you spent $20, you got $2 back, which is what the program was. But that stopped. God,
forever ago.
Beginning of last year, maybe March, April. I don't know. Somewhere it didn't last long.
It lasted like 3 months.
Yeah, it was just enough to get over the hurdle of the spike of gas, and then once everything went back down, it went away too. So when I was reading that, I'm like, oh, they did not fact check this article.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The next paragraph says delivery drivers for the application can also pay for gasoline using a 10% cashback debit card called Dasher Direct, and for those who travel 100 miles or more per week, also qualify for additional gas incentives. You can earn up to an extra $10 for 175 miles, $15 for 225 miles.
Isn't this the same thing it was, Kim?
What?
Yeah.
Kim and I, you and I talked about this, literally, this specific thing when it was happening before, and these are the same numbers.
Yeah.
Right. But this program hadn't been around for forever.
Right. Well, here's the thing, though. Is it just me, you guys, or I feel like our gas prices are not good again?
I feel like they've been going up in Arizona, like Chris Taylor just mentioned in the chat. And I would say the last month in Arizona has gone up by a solid, I would say the last 2 months since February, at least $1.
Really? Mine hasn't.
Yeah, maybe it's just us
Mountain
and West Coast people, John, because I know gas is about to get a huge raise in California. California is about to get nailed.
Hold on, I just filled up the other day. Let me tell you what I filled up for.
We're pretty close to $3.80 again, and for Colorado, that's pretty high.
We're over $4 over here. And,
really? I'm right now. I'm at $3.25, and that's New Jersey. Usually we're expensive.
Right. Yeah, usually New Jersey's more expensive than Colorado on
Yeah.
any given day. We're more than you right now.
I paid $2.78 to fill up the other day.
Oh.
So-
$2
No,
yeah.
Oklahoma.
See, I don't know.
Well,
We're
I'm
at
saying per
414 right
gallon.
now.
Yeah.
You know, John, I
You're at what?
guarantee
314?
you,
414. Yeah, it's the low right now.
I guarantee
444
you,
is about
it's
the
because
average.
of the 70,000 independent contractor drivers right now that are out of work in California.
Driving up everything.
Where we're not able to move as much gasoline from the refineries to places that need it. You know,
I mean, that's
I mean, I just feel like, you know, like they have the East Coast, so they
Yeah.
got their own gas refineries, and Gary's near the Gulf where they have their own refineries. We rely on the West Coast.
yeah. We have one source out here, pretty much.
Yeah. And so, I mean, we're dealing with all this crap that's going on in California. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like for me, I think gas is kind of back to where I thought where it was really bad. In fact,
It's
I feel like
verging
we're
out
pretty
here. And
close.
I feel like especially if we're here now, this is March. You know, summer the gas prices go up, so
Oh yeah.
it could get to 5. Hopefully, but if it's not getting to 5, I'd be surprised.
Are you gonna start riding a bicycle?
Prius.
Like, how about that scooter? Ooh.
Yeah.
I need to find a solar powered car out here. I'd be good.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just gonna start doing DoorDash in a small area with a golf cart.
this is funny. Look at
There you go.
it. Steve was in his 20s when he paid gas prices like I do.
Actually, when I was in that would have been like my teens, but whatever the Olympics at Lake Placid was, where it was, you know, the Miracle on Ice. That year was like one of the highest year gas prices in the country. That was like over $6 a gallon. That was like 84.
That's probably like $18 a gallon in today's dollars.
And there were pictures of like 50 cars lined up at a gas station, and they had no gas.
When I was 21, gas was 79 cents and 89 cents a gallon.
Holy shit!
I know.
I
Never
don't
seen
even
it.
remember that ever.
I'm like, did I
don't
just
know how
age
you
myself completely?
Yeah, I should have felt that age. Like I don't
It
even
was
remember.
Steve was around when it was like 40 something cents a gallon.
How much was a cheeseburger back then? That's the next question.
I don't know. Steve, what year was you 16?
88.
In 1988, gas prices were 90 cents a gallon.
Shut up, Gary. All right, I don't know how it got to picking on me. As I already talking about this
Hey,
door.
show
Because
up
he
every
missed
week.
last week.
Yeah, show up every week.
This is going to be the way of the show. When you miss a week, yeah.
What are we going to do
Let
to
me see.
Hannibal next week?
Actually, believe it or not, gas prices whenever I was 16 was lower than when Steve was 16. Because whenever I hit 16, they were 67 cents per gallon.
All right.
So that shows you that they actually were pretty high when Steve was young. So they did a lot of driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see Marissa says she remembers 99 cents in the 90s. So
See?
Yeah, I was 96 is whenever I turned 16. So
yeah.
What
Do,
was it,
do
90
the
cents?
year 2000.
I feel like I never was. I got to tell you though, I had 2 jobs. I drove a decent distance to both of them. They were both restaurants, and I don't ever remember it being under $1. I really don't.
well, you probably didn't pay attention to gas prices back then too. I mean, let's be real. Whenever I was 16, I guarantee you, I did not pay attention to gas prices. Whenever I was 20, I didn't pay attention to gas prices. I didn't really start paying attention to gas prices until I got like, I don't know, my late 20s, early 30s. That's
Yeah,
whenever I became like an
I just
adult.
yeah,
and was
I
like,
just
what the
can't
hell
even
is this?
remember. I cannot remember it being that cheap.
Yeah.
And I don't have dementia yet or anything, so it's
That you're aware of.
if I do, don't tell me.
You just forget it.
before John goes, I just want to mention, it's really only about one of them. I wanted to mention that DoorDash took on like 3 new retail partners, and they've got a couple little features, but one of them surprised me a lot. Victoria's Secret is now on DoorDash.
That's the
Oh my
place
God,
you do
something
not
down.
want
I mean-
random DoorDash delivery drivers
Who's
running.
gonna-
I don't know why,
Hey,
but I feel like
hey,
that's
I need
mixed.
McDonald's
Edible
and
panties,
some
man.
fancy underwear.
That's my old stomping ground.
Are you going to order fried chicken and underwear?
Double Dash?
I will say, the only good thing is, it's just like Sephora. If you just go into Victoria's Secret and say, "Hey, I need this," they're just gonna get it for you.
It would look weird for a DoorDash driver shopping.
What if they don't have it? Does the
Red bag.
driver have to contact you and say they're out of the red thong panties?
Well, you, I mean,
Yeah,
Or
size-
you can
gotta
choose a
size.
substitution beforehand.
Substitution, yeah. Like they're out of the
I just
they're
don't,
out of
I
the
don't know.
grape edible panties. Would you like cherry instead?
I don't know. I like, doesn't that seem like more so? I don't know. I would feel better if
I
just
guess
shipped it.
because
Or-
there
I
to
don't know
me it's
why.
just like Victoria's Secret, you know, like I don't know. I just don't really think much of it just because I guess I work there. So I'm just like, yeah, it's Victoria's Secret. Just go in and grab the bras, panties, and get out.
Yeah, but that's different for you.
I know.
I mean,
Wait,
for guys,
why
like,
why are you surprised by that though, Steve? Like really, have you seen we deliver adult toys now?
that's still
I did that a
I've
couple months
delivered-
ago.
that's less weird, dude.
How's that less weird?
I don't know. It just is.
You know
I
what's
guess
awkward,
it would
though?
depend on the toy, really.
But you know what's awkward? And this literally happened to me a couple of months ago. You go in and you go to the shelf and they don't have it, and you have to hit substitution, and they're asking you what the substitutions available are.
Wait, you just did a sex toy delivery
Yes.
Yeah.
today?
No, not
No,
today.
a couple
Oh,
months
okay.
ago.
Okay.
It was for
Only one.
Walgreens, I believe
Only
it was.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Walgreens
has
probably
sex
sells a lot
toys?
more sex toys than you
Yeah.
believe.
They do. They actually do.
They actually, that's probably one of their high volume sellers.
I would have never guessed. I mean, I know they kind of carry a lot of weird things, but I would have never guessed that was one of them.
Yeah,
Right-
don't
it's
be
right
afraid
next
if
to
you
the
do a
pregnancy
shop and
test.
deliver, and it's part of your shop and deliver. I swear, I went to like they didn't have what they were looking for, so I was gonna hit.
Did you get a
the cancel.
replacement?
Yeah, because they were very specific on what they wanted.
I'm pretty sure they wanted that toy. They didn't want to just, I'll just wait till tomorrow.
Through the chat, they were like, "Well, is this available?" And I'm like, "Really? We're doing substitutions on this?" Most people would be like, "Don't substitute," but they were going back and forth, and I'm like,
Hey,
Oh,
they were
we're
in a
doing
mood,
this right now.
Tim. They were in a mood.
Was it a hand it to him or a leave at the door?
"Thank God it was a leave at door." That's the only thing I could say.
That would now that's the only part to me that would be awkward is if it was handed to me.
Right.
Like that would be the awkward part. Like, let me set it down and leave. You come out and get it. Like I don't
Right.
want to be like, here's your vibrator.
Yeah. Or
Have
they're
a great
or
night.
They're like, hey, can you help me get this working?
No.
The worst, I
Ugh.
always feel awkward when someone orders a pregnancy test and it's a hand it to me, and you're like, USA. I hope the outcome's in your favor.
Yeah,
Like, what do you say
right.
to somebody?
So
See,
what's even
I
more
got-
awkward is we're trying to, when you go shop for a plan B, they're like, sorry, there's not an available.
See, I'm with Kim because I've had to do pregnancy tests too, and I don't know what to say. Like my natural thing, whenever I drop something off and it's handed me, I say, "Hey, have a great day." You know, like, but it's just natural. I say that, and I'm like, "Have a great day." I was like, "Well, I don't know if they want to be pregnant or not."
I hope you get the results you're looking for. Like, I never know what to say. Good luck, Godspeed. Like,
Holly says she's going to be having a sex toy store.
Yeah,
soon.
she actually was asking me about it. She was
Yeah.
like, can I do this? I'm like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how far you're talking about. I mean, if it wasn't Holly, I would say yes to anybody, but it's Holly. She can do some crazy stuff. Like,
Holly, was
So-
it through Dumpling? Was it through Dumpling for Holly?
No,
I'm
no,
just
no.
curious. It
no,
wasn't.
I don't. No, no.
Instacart.
We were doing our dumpling show. I don't think it was a dumpling order.
Hey, John, look at this. He said pregnancy test with a plan B.
I've had that delivery, pregnancy test, flowers, Plan B, and there was some chocolate, I think, and condoms as well. So they were very prepared for all the outcomes, apparently.
Sorry, I knocked you up. Here's some flowers and chocolate.
I mean, also, with everybody like declaring all these new titles and things that they want to be called, like this, having in Colorado, having the kitty litter boxes in the elementary schools because kids identified as a cat.
What?
They've been removed now, but this was a thing.
What?
What?
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard of.
Did any? Well, no, I don't want to know. Actually, I don't want to know.
It was like, it was like eight different schools, but one of the schools, the girl identified with a cat, and then same old thing happened. Like all the some other people at other schools followed it too.
That's a thing.
Well, they made it not a thing, but I'm saying with those kind of line crossings that are going on, I would think that you got to watch what you call Plan B, because to a lot of people, that's Plan A.
It really is.
He's been trying to get that out for like 2-3 minutes. I guarantee you, it registered in his head. He had to figure out a way to throw that in.
I wrote that joke a month ago. It was like, there's going to be a moment.
And kind of what Chris Taylor says too, like he says, is it still legal? It is, but I know it's being pressed pretty hard to get rid of that thing.
See, someone needs to just choke Steve out. So speaking of choking, John.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. So we can see which city was this in. I don't know why I thought it was in Michigan, but there was a gentleman. No, it was Memphis, a Memphis teen. He must have been 18 because that's the only teen you can be and be a DoorDash driver. Well, 19 as well, I guess. But long story short, his car was broken, and then he said, hey, let's get a friend to go DoorDash with me. The guy who was DoorDashing, he had the friend that was going to be driving around. Guy was DoorDashing, got a $13 tip, or got a large tip. His friend got very upset, apparently. And I say friend very loosely. Choked him out until he split that tip. And I don't think they were friends anymore after that. But, I mean, part of me wonders, they didn't have an agreement beforehand, or when somebody drives you around to do DoorDash, don't get me wrong, the robbery and the assault, that's all illegal, that's all bad. But should have been an agreement beforehand to prevent this.
How good of friends are you if you're choking them out for $13?
That's why I said maybe it's an acquaintance.
I think you need to choose your friends a little bit more wisely.
Yo, give me that money. No, I'm gonna kill you.
So this is even the more interesting thing about this. You got a cash tip of $13, and then he cash apped the guy the money. He didn't give him the $13. I'm gonna cash app you $13. But
what?
Why didn't you just give him the $13? If you're being choked, here you go.
Well, I don't know. Here's how I bet it went
He's
down.
He's like strangling, going, cash app it.
Hold on.
He's
like this is probably how it went down. Is
I can't get in my pockets.
The friend was probably being the runner. Let's be honest. If two people are riding in the car, typically one's the runner, one's the driver. They got a cash tip, didn't want to split it with the driver, I guess. And it was like, no, I'm not giving you. So the driver choked him out.
So the first thing is, if you got a $13 cash tip, you should have been bragging. You should have been, I got a $2 cash tip.
You go to the door.
You put it in your pocket before you get back to the car.
Come here, walk on, like this cash tip. He's like, how much am I going to get as I'm driving you to your next stop?
Well, the other guy's probably watching, and he saw the guy give him cash.
See, my wife tries that all the time.
That's what he said. It was $2. Here's $1.
See, my wife tries that. She's the runner for me sometimes too, and she'd try and sneak the cash tip in her pocket before she gets back to the car.
Which that probably happened.
I need to start choking her out. Apparently,
you at least get a cash app. Apparently,
yeah, baby, you better start cash apping me.
She's laughing at you right now. Donna, keep it from him.
Yeah. Nah, she knows it's not that big of a deal. We typically use it for whatever, her weed.
Wow. Here's Gary's wife, and he just threw her under the bus.
No, she got her medical card.
It's Florida.
She got her medical card. It's legal.
come to New Jersey.
Right, but maybe
It's legal
we
in
want
New
the
Jersey.
internet to
So
know.
I think it's
know.
legal.
We
in all
are
of our
coming
states
next
out
week,
here.
Kim.
I know that's what I'm saying. It's legal
That's
in
what
New Jersey.
that's what she
so-
said. She goes, yeah, I don't even need to go by the dispensary because we can just stop anywhere in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So don't choke out people for $13. Don't
Wait,
choke
wait,
out
wait,
people
wait.
for
I
$1,000.
was like, wait, what's the right amount?
I don't know.
13 seems very low to go to jail for.
I mean, are they a
13
real
at
good?
100
Are they like
maybe.
a cousin?
Not
who
even a full 20.
fight with a lot. It's probably like $2,000. I don't know.
So this is the funny part of the story. Not even the funny part of the story, but this is the interesting part. The victim told police his friend Devin Crutcher agreed to drive the teen around to make food deliveries because his car went out of service. Without warning, Crutcher allegedly became irate when he did not receive a tip. I don't know if it's without warning.
Without warning.
See, that's what I said. They had an agreement. One was going to drive, one was going to run, and they was going to split the money. I guarantee you. But then one got a cash tip and was like, no, that's cash. We're not counting it. We're only counting the actual deliveries.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, in reality, first off, if you make a deal with somebody to drive you around, you should split everything 50-50.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's
where the
me.
guy.
Is it really that worth it to get choked over 13? Like, it's
And
not
to
like-
lose your
it's not
friends over
serious.
$13. Yeah, to lose your friends over $13 is just
Where were they from again?
Memphis.
Memphis. Okay.
So here's the interesting part. So Crutcher said to have demanded the victim pay up. So he gave him an opportunity. When he did it, the teen said he was choked. So there was an opportunity to stop this. He could have just paid up. He took behind door number 2, and that's what happened. Now we have a story.
He's
to
like,
talk
no,
about.
choke me, man.
We don't know if he disliked the choking. Just to say, we don't know if he disliked it or not.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if they're friends now. I wonder if they're past it.
Did he
They'll
cash
see
app
each
him
other in
back?
court.
He cashed app him back $650. Like, nah, man, I want to keep friends. Here's $650.
Ever wonder though, how does something like this make it to the news? Like, unless someone says, "Hey, I need to go to a news station," like how
Probably
does-
because they were like literally in a driveway doing this, and the person who went to get their food, who tipped the guy, and then the guy's choking another guy out in his front lawn. He calls the police.
So,
The police show up. They're like, "What the hell are you doing?"
so see, you would think that, but even the story gets even more interesting. It's unclear if the street in East Memphis is where the alleged attack happened, but it's where the police were called. The guy was arrested 2 weeks later after the alleged attack. So the police really cared for 2 weeks, apparently. $13.
What do you mean alleged attack?
I mean,
You're
innocent until
not.
proven guilty.
Maybe he was really weak.
You either did choke someone or you did. There's no alleged.
But he's like, maybe he's like this, and the guy's like, I can breathe just fine. You're so weak.
yeah.
Like,
And-
learn how
and
to
headlock,
choke
you
somebody, damn it.
You know what? I bet you the cops were like, yeah, we're not even going to follow up on this. And then, like, I guess the victim made a big deal out of it about his friend getting the $13 and not being arrested. And so they kept blowing up the gas or the police station to say, hey, why are y'all not doing anything? So that's when they finally went and arrested him.
So it's kind of smart if you think about it. If he gave him the cash, there would be no paper trail. He could have spent it. But by sending him the
Cash
cash app,
app. Yeah.
he kind of created. Maybe it was smarter than we thought.
So there's
I don't know.
that could be a good lesson. If you're getting robbed, like, what's your cash app?
Can I just cash app you?
I was sitting here this whole time you're telling it, trying to see like where's the angle of like, are they doing it for publicity? But it sounds like two morons. Like,
Well, yeah. It took you that long to realize that, Steve.
I mean, I was trying to see like, are they
The
not?
title
Do
should
they
have
have an
told you
angle? Is
that.
there something here that's going to make them money? I couldn't think of anything. It just,
No, I don't know.
it just sounds
They're
like
they're 2 minutes of
morons.
fame, I guess. 2 minutes
Yeah.
of being on the news.
The guy who choked got famous. The guy who got choked, his name is not in the newspaper.
Oh, it's not. Oh, because he's a minor. I bet.
Somebody got famous, yeah.
You said
Probably.
one was.
Well, no, he's
minor or
18-year-old. 18-year-old. So yeah.
whatever. Okay.
He probably just didn't want to be in the news.
So the other guy
I don't
did.
know.
The other
I
guy's
don't
like, I want to be in there for choking.
I don't know.
Public record. Once you get arrested, it don't matter if you went to
Yeah,
or
it's a
not.
public record. I don't know. It'll be a mystery, so we'll just have to move on and see what happens. So, speaking of mysteries,
I knew it.
I'm getting pretty good at these damn segues. Just saying.
So there
well.
is a neighborhood in Los Angeles that residents are getting mysterious Uber Eats deliveries. So it's not just one person, it's several people in this a lot. And they didn't buy it, they didn't order it. It started like 2 weeks ago, and literally they're getting like 20 deliveries a day throughout the entire day. 2:00 in the morning, 5:00 in the afternoon, doesn't matter. And they don't know where it's coming from.
But is it going to one person or is it a whole neighborhood?
No, it's like
it's
like a zip code.
Yeah.
It's a small zip code.
To the point where they were getting so much food that they felt bad about this food. So they were trying to find places to donate it to. They thought it was actually, I thought this was funny. Some guy thought it was like a local experiment at a college doing a psychology test, seeing what it'd be like to get free food for somebody.
Or if they would report it. Like,
right.
Like, I wonder if these people would just take the free food, or if they would say, I didn't order this, or... I think we all know we live in a day and an age where, as long as you are not involved in a scam, if somebody drops free food off at my door and it doesn't have some kind of correct paperwork that has the real name or the real address, I'm keeping it.
It's like, I'm thinking of the scam, a free
I'm throwing it. I don't know. Like, I might throw it away. Like,
well, do they see who delivers it?
Well, I would need to see how it's sealed up and stuff.
Right.
And,
or it's the McDonald's bag and it's just like 20-piece chicken nuggets and.
Yeah, Uber said that they were investigating it and they were narrowing.
How does Uber not know where it's coming from?
Like, they know they have the money. Obviously,
but can't they just look at the address and where the order is going to, and then track it to see who it's coming from? Like,
that's why I'm wondering, Kim, because I believe you did a story a couple weeks back whenever I was gone about the aunt's credit card being used, $12,000 or something like that, right? So what if this is someone else trying to get free delivery using a stolen credit card, and instead of blanking it to only their house, they're sending it to the neighborhood, so that way it's like, okay, they're getting it, and it's kind of covering their trail because everybody's getting it.
So I'll take it a step
further.
What
do they gain out of it then if it's a stolen
free
credit
food
card? But they're not getting it. The people are getting it.
But if they send it to their house too, and other people's houses, you can't just narrow it down to that one house.
True.
So one of the victims is actually the perpetrator. But what if they're using crypto so they can't trace it?
You can't use crypto for food delivery.
Okay, well, I'm not a cop, so hey, what do I know? Not a detective.
Clearly.
I
mean, that's the only thing I can think of is, somebody's doing it like that. That's the only thing I can think of. People trying to get free food or something using stolen or fake credit cards. Maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah. So the last thing that I wanted to tell you guys, I've been watching this for a couple weeks. Because I was gone last week doing that training, I don't know if we've talked about this at all. Illinois came on the board. By the way, we did an interview with Karen Anderson this week. That's really good. That talks about how AB 5 led to Prop 22, and actually how Prop 22 isn't as bad as what a lot of other states are going to see. She took us through some of the good points of it, and she doesn't even work the gig apps, so it was a very interesting piece. But Illinois is moving very quickly on a bill that would treat rideshare companies, Uber, Lyft, as common carriers, opening them up to the same level of liability as other forms of public transportation. It's Illinois House Bill 2231. It passed on the House floor this week, and now it awaits the Senate consideration. The common carrier status is defined as a standard of care under which passengers surrender their safety to certain modes of transportation currently in Illinois. This includes taxis, railways, elevators, among others. And it says the reason for treating common. Oh wait, it moved on.
Blow up the font, Steve, so you can read it.
The reason for treating common carriers and holding common carriers to a higher standard of care is the lack of control that the rider has. So there is no difference between the lack of control. This is the person who's leading the bill. There is no difference between the lack of control that a rider has the moment they step into an Uber or Lyft and the lack of control that a rider has when they step into a taxi, train, or elevator. So if this bill passes, Uber and Lyft already did what they did in California and said that the day that it goes into effect, they will leave. So we have a leave state on the radar again. Uber and Lyft have publicly announced they will leave the state. This won't even be a battle for them. They will leave Illinois. So if people want to think, oh, that's just an idle threat, we remember that California was not an idle threat. California knew that. They took it seriously because it would have disrupted their transportation. I can only imagine. Now, I can't speak for the whole state of Illinois, but growing up in Michigan, I went to Chicago a lot. I can only imagine the disruption it would cause as the Chicago metro area.
It'd be crazy.
To lose rideshare. I mean, there's grandparents. Right. The train doesn't do everything. And a lot of people have given up their cars, and you have senior citizens and all. There's a reliance on rideshare there now, just like there was in California. And I don't think that they're in a position to make this claim, but they are. It seems like even the Senate, from what I saw, the Senate's on board with it. They want it to, they're waiting for it to hit their desk because they're going to pass it.
Well, I mean, they left Texas, though.
What?
Rideshare.
Right.
You know, when Texas came in and said, hey, we want you to do this, this, and this, they was like, deuces.
Right.
You know, and so why can't they? The only alternative they'll have if this happens is to do like Texas and start a nonprofit rideshare company.
Right.
So wait, Uber and Lyft aren't in Texas?
No, they are now, but like a bunch of cities in Texas, they came out and
it
said,
started.
Hey,
it started in Austin.
Yeah, it started in Austin, but
there was a company
spreading.
called Faster too. That was actually an up and coming rideshare. Like there's been other ones too, but they actually looked like they had momentum, at least in Texas, and they actually fell because of all this.
Right,
timing,
but like when Texas came out, they said a bunch of cities, not the whole state, but a bunch of cities, Austin included, was like, hey, you got to do this, this, and this, or else you can't operate here. And Uber is like, okay, we want to operate there, and up and pulled out, and like everybody's like, wait, what do we do? And so that's where Ride Austin and Faster and all them. Ride Austin is a nonprofit, by the way. They're still in Austin. In fact, they released their whole source code to every developer out there. By the way, I actually have their source code. It's great. But I mean, they can do it. I mean, that's all they got to do is just pull out, because once they crippled this, like, think of it, pull out of Chicago. Everybody in Chicago is going to complain. Everybody there.
Oh my gosh!
All the politicians are not coming back. Yeah,
right. I mean, and so if the state doesn't fix it quickly, whoever's in office will be voted out. You can.
But see, they that's the weird thing. They just did the vote. They just voted out Mayor Beetlejuice.
Mayor Beetlejuice.
They did.
Yeah, Mayor Beetlejuice. Yeah,
is that like is that 2 weeks ago?
Is that the real name?
Wow.
Lori Lightfoot.
That was Lightfoot.
Okay. It's like,
dude, put her up next to Beetlejuice.
It's a running joke.
She looks
like
just
Beetlejuice.
like her, dude. She looks just like Beetlejuice. But yeah, it wasn't me just making it up. A lot of people call her Beetlejuice.
Lori
Like, can you look that up, Gary?
Oh yeah.
Mayor Lifeline, is that what it was?
It's Lori Lightfoot, Chicago.
Mayor Lightfoot.
Okay,
Just
Lori
put Lightfoot Beetlejuice. You'll find
Yeah.
lots of great memes. You put Chicago Mayor Beetlejuice.
If you
I'm
put
sure you'll find
Lightfoot
plenty.
and then B, it should come up.
In fact, it's the top search, actually.
There we go.
See, but they just had their election. Now they got new people in, so it will be a long wait. But I mean, I feel like they're pushing for something that they know. I don't think anybody doubts the rideshare. Like Gary said, in Texas, it happened. In California, they pushed them to the 11th hour, but then California folded. They knew they were even though they were like, we're California, we're too much of your business. They knew. Wait a minute.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I thought you were just being mean, but oh my god.
I was being mean, but it's true.
Apparently, she wasn't very liked. Apparently,
No, dude, she's the one that defunded the police. She's the one that told the police they didn't need to go down to South Central or to South Side. She was the one that said they didn't need to respond to calls unless they felt comfortable with it. You know,
the whole purge law they call it out there.
Yeah, I don't know. She was a travesty. Even like the you know, usually if nothing else, you have the police and most people behind you. She was the one like telling the police not to go down to like River Street and stuff that's like downtown, where they were cleaning out remember the looting when they were during the pandemic and they were taking all like the diamonds and the good stuff. She was telling the cops don't get involved.
So much for serve and
that's
protect.
literally that's their job,
right?
So
But
much
she
for
was
serve and protect.
yeah. She was like, she got accused of a bunch of stuff because she had like a 6 or 8 person security team. But she was telling the cop, and she lives in $1 million home. She was telling the cops, don't go to the areas where you can get hurt.
I guess she wasn't that like cleaning up the crime.
Yeah, it was like the first mayor of Chicago in some ever time in modern history, basically.
Yeah.
To only have one term. Put it that way.
But one thing I will say to
at least rain.
It's
one
me.
thing,
Can you hear it? It's like pouring outside.
I thought it was. I thought
Garrett's going crazy on the keyboard.
I thought it was hailing. I was like,
no, we're supposed to get thunderstorms tonight, and then all of a sudden, like I'm by a door, and I'm like, wow, it's like really raining outside. Sorry.
Not your fault.
one thing I will say about Chicago, though, if you look into their history, they've got a pretty shady history of. I mean, all politicians are shady, but Chicago has a pretty shady history of politicians. You know, Chicago was, I think it was the second most gangster city to New York.
I'll say it goes back to the mafia days and the can't remember the old gangster, but the famous gangster.
Yeah.
I don't know why I want to say Al Pacino, but it's not Al Pacino.
No, and he was very famous, but he was the short one too.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm talking about. I just can't think of the name.
Yeah, but he was like he was one of the most deadly in the country for sure. Yep. But yeah, Chicago is mafia run. So I mean, and then the Chicago fire, like there's just always been some like back alley stuff, union stuff has been here. That's always been a problematic city for its size, I think, because it's a tough city to run.
It is.
You know, they get some of this just horrendous weather, and then they get the wind or the lake effect. Which, if you've ever been to Chicago in the winter, it is brutal. Like it'll be like 8 degrees, and then at night the Lake Michigan on that south part is frozen. The wind comes in and it's like -20. You know, it can just get brutal. It's a fun town, but yeah. But anyway, I found that, you know, that's another state. So now Minnesota, New Jersey has a thing out.
Before you move on to other states, when is that?
What about New Jersey?
When is that Chicago going to go in effect? Just so we have it.
As soon as the Senate votes on it. I mean, House passed it.
On the voting?
So the everybody was under the impression it wouldn't pass the House. But they were like, if it passes the House, it'll pass the Senate. But don't worry, it won't pass the House. It passed the House with flying colors.
Okay, so when does the Senate vote on it?
I don't know. I mean, there isn't a date. Probably in the next couple weeks.
The next session, whatever that is, or
yeah.
So if you're in Illinois, keep watch on this channel because as soon as it passes, we'll be talking about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's you, and you guys should be looking into it now anyway because you should understand it. Because, like I said, Uber and Lyft already put out their thing, and unlike other companies, they're not just threatening. They've already put out, well, if you do this, we're leaving. Yet at the same time, I think we can all agree, does it not? I mean, really, I'm not trying to sound either way here, but what they're asking, sadly, is kind of correct. I mean, that people understand that there's no difference between being in a taxi or an Uber.
There's not.
There should
Right.
be,
Well,
though.
that's the claim. There's no difference. So we need to make the passengers aware. You need to be common carriers.
So what does a common carrier even mean? That's
It
why-
means that they would need to carry a whole different level of insurance.
Okay.
They would need to be paying not necessarily employee dues, but they would have all kinds of dues that they can't afford.
That makes sense.
So it just basically comes down to money. It's a lot of money the government would want, and that Uber and Lyft aren't going to pay.
That's what I'm saying. Probably everything the taxi companies are currently paying.
Yeah, and the
Is
taxi
what-
companies are going under. So
Right, and they're gonna. It's kind of like another repeat of New York City here, where they had the medallions and things like that that Uber and Lyft does not have to buy. So it kind of killed out the medallion program, But then eventually, now Uber and Lyft have taxis on their app, so that way the taxi companies will stay in business as well. And Chicago will probably end up doing something similar if they want Uber and Lyft to stay. They're going to have to come up with another plan of attack besides just saying you guys got to do all this. They're going to have to either re-regulate the taxis to where they're the same as Uber and Lyft's, or they're going to have to, make exceptions for Uber and Lyft, which is going to piss off the taxis.
right, and that's what here's the inference part I'm taking from is that the taxi and the taxi unions are behind this. Again, unions are behind this. They're behind this push, like make Uber and Lyft be under the correct standards. It's weird how every state does it different. Like up in Washington, they were accepting of it. Put them under the TLC, let them have the same rights as the limo and taxi drivers. Okay. Right. And then in Chicago now, they're like, hand it to them. Make them be just like the taxis. And it's kind of like the same thing, but the way it's being handled is in a way where they're like, we're not going to stay.
Well, that's why Uber actually got rid of cab behind their name, because they didn't want to be associated as a cab.
Right.
So they dropped the cab and they became Uber.
Right.
Well, I think it's probably also Chicago's probably asking for some extra grease under the table too somewhere, stay in there. They're like, no, we're not paying you that.
Right.
And really, if you think about it, the amount of money that Uber and Lyft are going to lose by leaving, and I'm going to say Chicago because that's the biggest city in Illinois. So the rest of Illinois probably doesn't matter to Uber and Lyft, but Chicago is probably a big earner for them. The money that they're going to lose there just by leaving the state, they could probably go ahead and afford some of this extra stuff.
Right. Right. And here's the weird thing to me though. So they have the L train there. Everybody uses the L too. Bus, they have obviously all over, and taxi, they're all doing these. But the one I found interesting that I did not know was an elevator. Like I didn't
elevator is just random.
Like
nobody.
So if I'm in an elevator in the Sears Tower, one of the largest buildings, and it falls 50 floors and I'm paralyzed, I can't sue the building.
What?
It's the same as being in a cab or a bus. You give up your rights being in an elevator.
What if something's faulty with the elevator? How do I give up my rights over something that's faulty? Because I guarantee if I'm in a cab or a train and there's something faulty on it and it gets an accident, I can sue.
So one of the bars I used to run here had it had 3 stories. It didn't really need it, but we had an elevator. And we made it key operated in the end because people were just breaking it or just using it all the time. But we made it for like people that really needed it. But we had to have the fire department come and check that and sign off on the elevator's condition every 2 months. That's the only time I've had to deal with an elevator, like personally, and how the backing works. And that's about the most hardcore thing I've ever had to deal with. So the fire department signs off every 2 months, just like they do every year on your fire,
right?
Any of your equipment. But this they sign off on every 2 months because they take the responsibility of if the elevator's working. I don't know. I never knew that. I never knew that these are all things where they're saying that it's an automatic sign off. It doesn't need to be a checkbox or a signature. By using these, you're giving up your rights.
Okay, I'm actually reading this. It doesn't say that they're going to leave the whole state of Illinois. It just says that certain parts of the state.
Right, but let's be honest. Chicago, Peoria, Champaign.
Well,
What
but
else
they
we
might
got?
they might stay in the bigger cities. I don't know.
Well, Chicago's the target.
Right. If I was
Yeah.
them, if you're going to threaten to move in any of them, you'd leave Chicago and it hinders Chicago traffic.
I mean, dude, Illinois is one of those states where Chicago is 80+% of your population.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's what I'm saying. Leave that state and you pretty much, or leave that city. Let's say just leave that city and you pretty much crippled everybody in that city to get around. Like
imagine you're outside
in one day, just one day, shut off the apps for one day and say we're not operating here, and it's going to be chaos in that city.
Yeah. I mean, somehow they got by before Uber and Lyft, but it's been too many years now. Now it's integrated.
10 years.
It's part of the right. It's part of the Chicago ecosystem.
I mean, that's like
right?
shut down the metro train there. See what happens.
Yeah. Or like I was saying, the L ones, the elevated trains. Everybody uses the L to get to work. They're one of those things I don't even think are allowed to strike. Like, there's some of those unions that it's weird. They're weird unions. Like, you can't strike. Well, then why am I in a union? You know, I don't know. I find it interesting because there's a lot of different things going on in a lot of different states. I mean, Nevada's looking at some weird stuff, and I thought that to be really weird because Nevada's a right-leaning state. Why are they looking at this?
Now, what was you saying about New Jersey?
Purple.
Yeah.
Oh, Jersey. So a lot of these states seem to be going after rideshare, but let's be honest, that's how it all starts. California started off with AB5. AB5 happened. Prop 22 was just supposed to be about rideshare. Wasn't supposed to do anything for delivery people. You know, so they always target rideshare first. That's where they start because they can work with the TLC. Right. But when you work with the TLC, you're working with the unions and with the Teamsters, and they don't play well with Uber and Lyft. You know, so there's obviously a line that they'll like how they did with Prop 22. They metriced that out to this works as long as they're still all independent. But I mean, it seems like all these states are trying different things now. Like Massachusetts is back to full union for all the gig workers. Like, that's going to be interesting because I thought that was over. I did find one article that I found pretty cool. North Dakota didn't wait for any word about this to come out of anybody's mouth. And they put out this week that they made a pre-ruling. Gig workers are independent contractors, period. Okay. They saw what the other states were doing. They're like, let's just make this clear. Like, you're independent contractors and we're not going to talk about it anymore.
Shout out North Dakota.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, nobody lives there. Come on, other states with people that live there.
Oh, no, Trader was South Dakota.
I mean, I would also imagine it's really hard to be an Uber driver in like North Dakota because even their big cities aren't big, like at all, like Fargo or whatever. You know, they're not that big. And I would imagine everybody has a car because you're in the middle of nowhere.
Fargo only has 128,000 people.
Right. And that's like, isn't that their biggest city?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, I think the state.
Kim, you got that like 3 blocks down from you.
I do. That's what I'm like, wow.
I mean, just where
we can't come into New Jersey.
The whole population of the state, though, of North Dakota.
Population of North.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be
a million.
Much. I don't think they probably have a million even.
774,000. This is 2021 was the last census report, but in 2021 it was 774,948.
I don't think they grew by 200,000.
And that's like landmass wise, that's a pretty big state. They're smaller they have less people than Denver in the whole state.
Okay, yeah, John, July 1st, 2022, 779,261.
Yeah.
So yeah, they didn't grow very much, did they? Like 5,000 people.
5,000 is still solid.
Well, I don't think there's a solid like caravan to Fargo. Like, I'm leaving California. Where are you going? Colorado? No, Fargo. Like, people just aren't doing that, man. Like,
No, it's not. You know, things like, is there a nice summer? Nope, nothing in Fargo. You can't think of anything in North Dakota.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. There's
New
the
Jersey.
pipeline.
New Jersey has 9.2 million.
Right.
That's why I said we
Yeah.
pack them in.
Yeah,
And stack them high.
Yeah.
exactly. Well, before we get out of here, guys, Kim, what do you got going on? Anything?
I have a whole bunch of stuff going on. So
I
can tell you.
I know. On Tuesday on my live, I announced that I have a big surprise and a big reveal coming on Tuesday. So everybody's going to have to join my live on Tuesday so everybody knows what the big reveal is. And if you miss it, obviously, I will reveal it again next Thursday here as well. But I'm really excited to share with everybody what it is. As far as me and my content, I'm changing it up. I've been doing a lot more content, a lot more, fact-based stuff on what's happening with gig apps and stuff that I see while I'm out, but a lot more talking content and kind of refocusing my YouTube channel a little bit more. And then I do a video once a week on the Rideshare Guy. Shout out to Harry and team. They're absolutely fantastic. So just a busy beaver and just keep on going.
Yeah.
I feel like
that's
Kim is
cool.
one of the hardest women in gig work, hardest working women in gig work.
Ask Kim. I told her over a year ago, I called her the James Brown of the gig economy. James Brown, hardest working man in showbiz. He's always had that title. I said, you are the James Brown of the gig world, dude. Like, for real.
Thank you.
It is.
I shouldn't have said James Brown because he had so many problems in the later years that I don't
Well, I
wanna
mean, we're
equate
talking
it to
about the
some of
work
that
ethic.
stuff.
We're talking about the
yes.
work ethic. Yeah.
Even when he was in prison, he was performing. So he still was the hardest working man.
I'm not going to prison anytime
I was like,
soon.
I don't think she's going to
Like, if I ever see a daily upload from Kim in prison, I'd be like, damn, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
Like
He really
Steve
is
called
James
it.
You got a collect call from, hey guys, Kim. Like, oh wow, okay, here we go.
Can we do live streams from prison?
Yeah, I was just gonna say we got Kim on the panel from prison.
Orange just is not my color. We're good.
Kim, what's your story? How to make a shank? No, walk me through it.
I mean, I love Kim, but if she ever went to prison, she's gonna be somebody's bitch.
Really?
Yes. She's just too nice.
The other
she
way,
is too
dude.
nice.
I think that kindness is. I mean, I believe that is ingrained in her, but I think she would flip a switch in there.
Ask my husband. He might have a different story. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna ask him.
Yeah, even Holly said, "Let's see how far kindness free goes in prison."
In a
Girls
weird
gotta
way, I
do
think
what
it
a
would go
girl's gotta
very
do.
far.
I was just gonna say, actually, it probably would really go far. John, what do you got going on?
Man, so dropped a couple shorts today, but got a video. Probably gonna drop the full video tomorrow, but it's the same thing. So this video, the long teased one about Walmart acceptance rate, but yeah. And then I'm gonna be doing a little experiment, seeing how high I can raise my how high I can raise my acceptance rate based on some of the things I'm talking about in the video. So it's one thing leading to the other, but part one is pretty much done. And then I've kind of been doing plan to do some more live streaming. I redid this little office space, and so set it up for that. And so
Cool.
Back on the wagon.
Are you before I move to Gary, are you finding Walmart Spark like a lot of people, like not quite as fruitful?
I'll say I did for a little bit, but it's come back. It's come back for me. Yeah. I just got I think I posted on one of my community posts. I got like a $30 order and a $20 tip the other week. And I've been doing a little bit of overtime with my work from home job. So that's why I haven't posted as much, but You got to do what you got to do. They had some bonuses where they're paying almost $50 an hour. Actually, it's a little bit better than $50 an hour for
Good for
those
you.
hours. So I said I had to take that when I had the opportunity to.
Yeah,
We won't be
of
there for
course.
long.
Always got to take that money, right?
Yeah.
And Gary, I'm going to ask you, but I also know you made an app
Yes.
for the Gig
well,
Wars.
I
haven't checked it out yet, but
I made the iOS side version of the Gig Wars app. Lady Enigma, she made the Android version. And of course, we partnered up with Red Gig Wars official down here. And we actually created the Gig Wars app to where drivers can actually compete head-to-head competition. They can create their own wars, things like that, to see who can make the most money abiding by their own rules of the war. And so we actually released that beta version today. It's a public beta, so anybody can go download it. You go to middletontech.com/gig wars or go to garyzaps.com, and I have it listed there as well.
Nice. So anybody can do it. It's free. It's beta. And what do we say beta means? Gary's not responsible if anything goes wrong.
No, I mean, so far the app is working really well. We've had little issues here and there, but I've already fixed those on the beta version of the iOS. And so, I mean, but as we get feedback, we're probably going to run the beta version, probably a week or two. I'm going to be on vacation next week, so I won't be in anything. I won't be able to do very much coding. If I do, it's going to be hot fixes for, Maximo or DUH or something like that. So we'll probably run the beta version for a couple weeks, try and get some interest in the app, get people starting wars, creating wars. Me and Josh are actually, whenever I get back from vacation, me and Josh are actually going to do an Instacart head-to-head war. See who can make the most money using Instacart.
I want to do one with Kim. We'll be like the loser bowl of Instacart.
There we go, Steve. I don't know. I did like a couple last week.
Well, that's the good thing. Both of you guys can download the app. You can set your rules. And you can compete head to head and see who can make the most. And you can update your earnings in the app real time. So both of you guys can see it, without calling each other or messaging each other. Like, where are you at? You can actually just open the app and you can see what the other person's earnings are.
So, okay. So if I challenge Kim, do we both then have profiles?
Yes. Yeah.
Then so you can see my profile. Can you challenge me?
Eventually you will be.
Okay.
Eventually you will have direct. Like, I'll be able to open your profile and challenge you to a war, and you can either accept it or reject it. That's eventually. Right now, the way we have it set up is you can create a war. Anybody can join that war, or you can make it private and give somebody the 4-digit PIN number to join that war. So, like, if you want to only challenge Kim, you start your war, you make it private, and then you give Kim that PIN number. She goes, joins your war, and enters the PIN, and then you're both in the war.
Okay. So it can be more than one right now too, though. If you give out the PIN to more than one people, okay.
Right. The PIN number, it can be as many people as you want. You can leave it open, and many people as you want can join that too. And like I said, later we'll have direct person-to-person competition where I can challenge you directly, or you can challenge Kim directly. And, you can just see who's the better market. And we're eventually going to add on the profile. We got a lot of stuff coming for the profile. We're going to add what platforms you have available. We're going to add what market you're in, so that way people can go, well, I want to challenge somebody from New Jersey, or I want to challenge somebody from Denver, or I only want to challenge people that do Instacart or Uber Eats or something like that. So that way you have more options when you challenge people. You can actually see where they're going to be at. Because you might want to challenge somebody else from Oklahoma City. In fact, I completed a war this weekend that I won, by the way. Did a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I made close to, I think, $800 over the 3 days. And so, but it was a lot of fun because, you get a chat back and forth, and, we're going to add a chat feature to the app as well. So people can go to that war and chat with the other person if they want to. And so that way, the whole thing is just supposed to be a lot of fun. That's what it's.
Is it? Are the people verifying though? Like,
you talking about the earnings?
I earned this.
We do have an official war that we're going to be doing like every week. The official war is actually hosted on the Gig Wars official channel. We do verify those earnings. What we're going to do for regular users is we're going to add the ability to upload screenshots of your earnings.
Okay.
So that way you can say, that way it's really an honor-based system because we're not planning on connecting to Argyle or anything like that because that's just too expensive.
Right. Yeah, no, way too expensive.
Yeah, and so
And
we're
not
going to add
even-
the ability to upload screenshots so you can say, well, here's my earnings, this is what I made.
So when Red first, I see Red's in here too, and congrats Red on doing this because I watched this build from just her YouTube channel to an idea, and I listened to other people. But I was in her stream once, and I was saying, I remember asking, do you figure in gas miles? Like, do any of those matter in the war too? Because they should, right?
Well, whenever you, I don't have it. I might have it pulled up here. Let me see. I think I do have my simulator up. So
I mean, maybe miles don't have to be, but what you spend on gas should have to.
Here you go. I'll show you real quick. Okay, so this is the iOS version right here. This is our current war that we have going. It's between Red and Josh. We all know Josh B. He's in the chat all the time.
Yep.
And so what'll happen is, let me
Josh
see.
only made $44 today.
He went home. It started raining, and he went home. What's funny is Josh was $100 ahead of Red as of this morning, and then he went home. Red did 218 today and caught back up and actually beating Josh. So tomorrow's their final day of the war. So tomorrow is they have a rule they can only work 7 to 7. So 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Whatever you accept before 7 p.m. you can take, but you cannot take anything after 7 p.m. So tomorrow it's going to come down to probably 7 p.m. because I know Red's market on Friday. I was in a competition with her. It was a really good market. She was getting some really good loppers.
Right.
Yeah. And so whenever you go download the beta, like I say, you go to middletontech.com/gig wars. You can download the iOS and the Android version. This is what the actual start of war screen looks like. So you come in here, you enter all your stuff. We do have the default platforms in here, and we got other in case you want. But say if you wanted to enter anything else, you could just enter it here. Like if you want, for example, 7 to 7 or whatever additional rules, you just enter it there.
Okay.
And so, but whenever you join a war, let me see if any of these are open. Okay. Let me join this war. So I joined the Lady Enigma's beta war. What I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll enter my earnings, my miles, and how many trips I took. Okay. You can do this. You can do this after every delivery. You can do this at the end of the day. It's more fun if you do it after every delivery or when you get a small break.
For real-time updates.
Yeah, the people get real-time updates, and they're like, oh, okay, I need to hurry up. I need to do this. I need to do that. Like I lowered my standards because we only did DoorDash this weekend. So I actually lowered my standards from what I would normally take. And I was making $300 a day almost.
So I would also say another stat I would be interested in seeing: hours you worked and active hours.
See, what I was thinking about is I was thinking maybe taking their first entry and then their final entry.
Yeah.
Maybe, or something like that. There's going to be a lot of updates to this as we go forward.
But I think that matters too. I mean, obviously, yeah, you can work more hours and make more money.
Right.
Most of the time. But I mean, like, I would also, even if somebody lost to somebody, I'd like to see, okay, they lost by $200, but they put in half the hours.
Oh, I did want to point out one fun thing that we put in here. Don't just quit wars. Because if you quit wars, we do mark you as a quitter, and everybody can see that.
I like that.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, of course, Rad. We got no problem promoting that. And so,
like she said, if you want to validate your earnings, we do have the pit stop. It runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Anybody is allowed to join it. You can get on there. You can talk. You can discuss your day. You can discuss your strategies. Maybe if you're new, maybe somebody will get on there that's more experienced. They can tell you, some tips and tricks that you might be able to do to win your war, things like that. So there's gonna be a lot of fun with this, and that's what we're going for, is just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that it went to the next level here, and I'm glad to hear that. I just mean this because I know that you've been working on this stuff for a while, so I'm proud. I'm glad to hear that you did the iOS one, not the Android.
That's what everybody says too. They're like, Gary did iOS. First, I know how to program iOS.
I know you
always
do,
said
but I'm just happy to see you did it. Like the Android would have been easy for you.
Yeah, the Android would have been super easy. iOS was pretty simple for me too. It's a lot different whenever you go to programming nothing but Android and then you get to do an iOS. And I still have one more iOS app coming this year too. Well, it'll be Android and iOS, but I do have that coming. It'll probably be later in the year. And I think a lot of people would like the next app I come out with as well.
Nice.
Yeah, but like I said, it is released on Gary'sApps.com. So if you want to test a beta, go in there, start war, start inviting people. The more people that we test it, we get input from you. You can come to the Gig Wars official channel. You can tell us what you want, tell us what you don't like, things like that. And we'll be very open like I always am.
I'm going to challenge Kim to Instacart. I am. It's going to be a Thursday night to the next Thursday.
That's so funny. I only do single batches, so you probably win just based off of that. I only do
no batches.
So. There's no. If you do a war, Steve, you have to actually be involved in the war.
Oh, I will. That's what I'm saying. I'll go for it, and then I'll be able to really say to you, like, "Yep, it's as bad as I thought." Like,
you're just doing it to prove a point.
Well, it also sounds kind of fun. It sounds like something to just shake up the week for me. I can always jump back to my schedule.
Right. Well,
see, that's something else to try, and kind of it gives me content. It gives me perspective. It gives me.
You're gonna force me to be competitive.
Right. Kim and I are going to be competitive in 2 suck markets for Instacart.
Well, that's the thing.
Or else, watch, we'll be the 2 highest earners of the
Can
week
you
in
imagine?
the whole country.
Like whenever I did my war, like our war is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? On Friday, I was like, hey, I'm just going to work my regular day. I have my, I had the Driver Nation Friday night. So I had like 3 hours there. I couldn't work. But then like come Saturday and Sunday when we was neck and neck, I was like, oh, I got to win this thing. I can't lose it. And I already told Red come Sunday night, we were still really close. We was like $50 apart. And I told her, I won. Yeah, I won. But I told her, I said, I will stay out till midnight, and I'm an hour behind her too. I said, I will stay out till midnight to make sure I win.
Ruthless. I thought you couldn't stay out after 7.
No, you can set your own stuff. Ours was 24 hours. It was a 24 hours war. You can start at 12:01 Friday morning and ended at 11:59 Sunday night. So you could work any of that time frame. But like I said, Friday, I only did like $200 my normal day. I was home by 3:00, got ready for Driver Nation, everything like that. But then like come Saturday and Sunday, whenever I didn't have very much going on, it was very competitive. Oh, like I made more money because I was having fun doing this. So
I think people make more money because they're having fun.
I just saw Ceci said she's still looking for somebody to challenge with Grubhub. So here's the perfect challenge, and he's not here, so we can do it for him. Hannibal will challenge you because Hannibal just got back on Grubhub.
But he's in like a different state, isn't he, for Grubhub?
So?
Oh, by the way, like I said, we do have an official war every week. And if you join the official war and you win, we do give you free merch for that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And in fact, I think it says Gig Warrior on it front end or something like that. It's a badass t-shirt or hoodie or whatever it is. I get one. I'll let you know. I'll wear it once I get it since I beat Red.
Yeah. So there eventually will be like a Gig Wars like Masters like golf where like you all go to one city and you compete in that city.
The best of the best.
The best of the best. It's like Top Gun in Nashville. Top Gun on the streets of Nashville.
Yeah.
The war is a Philly thing. Okay. So guys, check that out. I know that I've been watching it on Red's channel. I gotta say I'm pretty impressed with how fast she progressed that. I mean, this started, then it like jumped up a couple levels, I thought, and then more people were involved, and then she was all of a sudden I saw just this app. I'm spend a few days out in the backcountry in a mountain. I come back, Gary's made an app. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, that quick. 10. Whenever I talked to her, I think I told her it was going to take me 7 days, and it took me 6.
Yeah,
to make. So
this is rested on the 7th.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
So,
like,
right, the same as it took God to make the earth. Huh?
yeah, right.
So, but check that out, you guys. I don't know if anybody, I guess there's no link needed, but Gary'sApps.com.
Right.
I would say that's
very
the
bottom
easier
of the
way.
page. Yeah, Gary'sApps.com, very bottom of the page.
Yeah. So check it out, download it, challenge somebody. Like Kim's gonna get challenged by me. I can't spend my whole week doing an Instacart, but I will fit in enough. Especially if we're doing it.
Well, you
if
set
it's-
your own dates. You set your own dates. If you only want to do it
right,
3
but
day war, do
especially
it
if
3 day
we're
war.
doing it every one we do, because I don't think Kim and I do enough of them.
Right.
To like wait a day or two to see where they're at. So like if she was entering every time she did it and so was I, it would make me more competitive. Like, damn, she got in front of me. Like, I gotta take one now. So
yeah, I think on the next update we're actually going to import, or we're going to include notifications. So when you are in a war and somebody passes you, you get notified every time.
yeah.
Oh, that'll make you people go out.
Yeah.
So
I love the gamification. Gotta love it.
Yes.
yeah, that's so that's a thing, guys. That's real. Check it out. And I think that's a wrap. Thank you everybody for joining us. Again, thank you, Chris, and everybody for hanging on there last week. I appreciate it. It was a big thing for me. And we will see you back here next week with Hannibal, as long as he gets better. I know he's feeling under the weather, so Hannibal, get well. You're going to be challenged to a Grubhub competition with Ceci, and we'll see what happens, man.
And don't forget, check us out tomorrow night on Driver Nation, 7 to 9 Eastern.
Yep. And call in. You guys, that you don't have to get on StreamYard. You don't have to do it. You can just call a phone number. It's
it's a great show. I've been lurking the last couple of weeks. Popping in on there. I'm like, I got to call in one of these times.
You we really do. We're at that point where people do need to call in, because we really do. We have really changed that programming around a little bit. There are some true hardcore regulars that are in there every minute of every week, who really love the show. And I think we've changed. I mean, Tom and I have been doing it for, I don't even know. I think it was August. And so in August, it'll be 2 years. Is that right?
It's a good run.
I don't know if that's right. I feel like that's right, maybe. But yeah, so I mean, we've been doing this for a while. But for a long time, it was just radio. It wasn't on YouTube until like 6 months ago, maybe 7 months ago. But yeah, so join us over there. It's on this channel, and it's 7 to 9, and you can call in. You don't have to. It's actually even probably better if you don't join the StreamYard, because it allows you to be working, and that's kind of what we like doing on that show, is talking to people who are working and getting perspective or figuring out what they're doing, what they're up to. So that said, yeah, exactly, Donna, hit that like button before you go, guys, and we will see you tomorrow night, or after that. If not, we'll see you next Thursday. But until then, have a great week, everybody. Earn smart, and we'll see you soon. Peace.
Bye.